Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Hip Hop Babies.
Yes, sir, ski.
We're back. Y'all know what it is, man. You seen the title of the video. We doing top 10s, bro. Top 10 2024. What a year for hip hop, man. You know, we just revel in this for a second. We OGs now, bro. We hip hop OGs. We do what we can, but, you know, we feel like we got a little bit of experience, you know, talking about these things. So, you know, we got a good list. I got a good list this year. You know, how you feeling about your list?
I think I got a good list. I think it was a solid year. Just like last year, a lot of shit has happened. So the way I listen to music changed again. You know, I might have similar artists, of course, but I put them in certain placements for a different reason than last year. This year, you know, we've seen a lot. We saw the biggest rap beef arguably ever. We've seen rap sales. Some people say they've gone down a little bit, but overall, you know, rap is still, in my opinion, on top, of course.
Hip hop is what moves everything else around it. You know, nothing moves without hip hop moving first. So my whole list is full of hip hop. I got some honorable mentions for sure that are not hip hop, just from a couple people that, you know, are around and I felt like should be talked about at least a little bit. All right, so we about to get into our little top 10 list real quick. I guess I go first, right? You know.
Yeah, you got it. I'll let you go first.
It?
We gonna put the pressure on you. You know, what's your list? What you got? I'm excited to hear this, man.
So I want to preface it real quick. You know, some of this is because I was just listening to it. Some of it is because of artistry. Everything kind of comes together. No judgment if you don't have what I have on my list. Probably have it in the honorable mentions. Not gonna lie. All right, so number 10, Hardstone Psycho by Toliver. Had to put him on there.
Yeah.
Number 9, I Laid Down My Life for You by JPEGMAFIA. Number 8, Doing It For Me by Larry June. Great album. Number 7, Cast of a Dreamer, 454. Could be higher. Number 6, We Still Don't Trust You, Future and Metro Boomin. Number 5, Penalty of Leadership, Boldy James and Nicholas Craven.
Okay.
Number 4, GNX by Kendrick Lamar.
Squabble up.
3, The Thief Next to Jesus by Ka. Number 2, Pinball by Mike and Tony Seltzer. And number 1, Rich Ass Haitian by Mach-Hommy.
Hey, man. Bro. I love it. Mach at 1. I love it, bro. And I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Kyle needs to be on my list. When I say my list, it's just like when MF Doom passed away, right? Where everything going on, I didn't even think about it off top. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I didn't even know where to place it. Damn. Great list.
All right, bro. Stage is set. The night is calm. We're all eager to hear what you have to say. So, go ahead.
Okay. Like I said, Kaz in here.
He's in there. He's in a 0.5 at some point.
Yeah, he's in here. I messed up. So he might push someone out. Probably my number 10, right? So he'd be somewhere in there. But this is just me going off the artists played a lot that impacted me, you know, on my day-to-day, working with people, working with certain things, just like, you know, the vibes. So number 10, Lupe, Fiasco, Samurai. Number 9, Mike and Tony Seltzer, Pinball.
Flip the 2 and the 9, bro.
I know, it's kind of crazy, right? Number 8, Vince Staples, Dark Times. Number 7, Tyler, the Creator, CHROMAKOPIA. Number 6, Doechii, Alligator Bites Never Heal. Yeah, I had to. 5, Mach-Hommy, Rich Ass Haitian. 4, ScHoolboy Q, Blue Lips. Number 3, Kendrick Lamar, GNX.
Put them all in there. Just put them all in there.
Yeah, you know. Number 2, JPEGMAFIA, I lay down my life for you. And number 1, Boldy James and Conductor Williams, Across the Tracks. Man.
Yeah, just for the sake of, being nice, you can't put too many Boldy James in your top 10, because could have easily had 3 in there.
Yes,
Easily.
3, 2, whatever. Yeah, just I cut penalty of leadership because of that reason.
I knew that one of them was going to get in. I just put penalty because I figured you weren't going to pick that one. But Jack Frost.
Man.
All time.
Crazy.
And
all-time track,
bro. So, all right. Let's do some honorable mentions real quick before we get into the rest of it, People that didn't quite make the cut. For me, first one, I got Lucky, Gemini, That was a crazy one. You want to just talk about day-to-day life experiences, when I was on that grind, when I was on that hustle. If nobody was there for me, Lucky was there for me, bro.
Real.
And, just a great fan base, just a great person to follow, music-wise. Like, he tells a story a unique way, and he fulfills that, bro, every time. So Gemini is up there. The features with Rilo and V's were crazy, bro.
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Those are summer tracks for years to come. So
it wasn't in my honorable mentions, but I was replaying that album a lot. We missed it as far as reviewing it, because of time. But that was a impressive album by him. For one of my honorable mentions, I had J. Cole, Might Delete Later. Off Trey the Truth and Ibiza alone. That was my number 1 track this year. I really love. Even though he deleted the diss track and everything, I really love. I mean, as a project, it might not have been the best, but like I said, some of the songs really impacted me this year. I feel like J. Cole, that's what he does. He relates to people in certain ways. I feel like that album really related to me, but it didn't make it.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those projects.
And that's kind of crazy, but just the name does not move mountains like it used to. But man, that was crazy.
Yeah.
He really did that, bro. He really did delete later.
It was intentional, I think. He wanted to be messy and then deleted. But for that moment, it was a cool project.
All right,
why are you bringing this nigga up?
For my next one, bro, I got Timeless by K-Tronada. That's another honorable for me. That was a great one, dance music. I felt like as far as like albums, like everybody's getting on them, like this was one of the ones that I was checking for just to see like, who's going to be able to get a K-Tronada beat at this point, Yeah. So it was dope.
Dope ass album. I went to Camp Flognaw, as y'all know, hopefully, and he performed. And it was dope in the review, but he performed. And it was dope, and that album was another dope album in his catalog. I didn't know you was a K-Tronada fan like that, so I'm happy to see that album get love because it definitely deserved praise.
It's nice when you see somebody actually like really deserving it. So, I'm hoping I see some more producer-oriented tapes in the future. Yeah. Pierreborn, where you at with that, bro? He might as well.
Hopefully this year. Yeah, hopefully this year. He playing. He's playing. Another honorable mention I have was Freddie Gibbs, He Only Died Once. I thought it was a solid project. Freddie Gibbs, you know what you're going to get with him. Dope bars, dope beats. Even though he took off my favorite track because of sampling issues, there's a lot of other banger tracks on there, but it didn't make it, unfortunately. I hope he drops a Madlib this year. I think it'll be in there if he does. Either way, though, Freddie Gibbs is always a contender to be in there. You know what I'm saying?
It was a good little album. I mean, the freestyles were cool. I like Wolverine, that concept of, the devil on his shoulder, talking to him. Even when it's like, something little, he still puts the effort in to, make it like a concept, make it something dope. So I appreciated it. Still have it in my rotation. So another one I got on here, I got Shadowbox by Mavi. I felt like that one was another really good album. He's always got these like little like love ballads in his albums that I just, always have playlists or whatever. A lot of his other stuff is really well written, and it's just so hard to keep this off my list. Easily could have been number 10.
Yeah, it was, bro. People gonna pay attention when they pay attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, because it's been going for a while. Like
it's been going for a while, and I think he's dropped old projects. And even me with this one, it took some time. We were gonna review it. It just was a really emotional project. It was really vulnerable, especially early on in the track list, right? I feel you on that one.
His writing is like, it can be dense sometimes, so I just feel like it's harder to get into right away, but over time I was fucking with this album. I should go back and listen to this one. That's why I put it on my honorables. You have another one that you really want to talk about?
A Lucid Revelator. I know we both have that on there, right? It basically was an album we reviewed that I scrapped pretty much, unfortunately, because of time again. Great album, great alternative hip hop album. Really dense, really in your face. A lot of crazy topics, and even some songs where he's just talking his ish.
I could have easily swapped this out for I Laid Down My Life For You. I don't feel like I get like constant rotation from these albums, but I'll listen to them until I get them. Like it's like I don't understand what's going on for a minute until I do, and then I'm like, damn, bro, this shit's crazy, and then I stop listening to it. It's fun to listen to understand, So the beats on here are fucking crazy, bro. It's intense,
Yes,
that was a good review. Yeah,
Patreon. Patreon. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We might just drop the audio on y'all one time. You know what I'm saying? But that was a great album.
Another one I got Angel Eyes by Kenny Mason.
Oof.
Mason. Going absolutely stupid. This one, another vulnerable, emotional project. This one talking about dealing with grief, with his grandfather, something I can very closely relate to, over my time as a young adult. So, just thought that it was like a really cool concept to do it for. And then also like just the way that he is able to continually like make music that is like so catchy, but is also like so telling, so vulnerable, so him. It's inspiring for sure.
Yeah, I agree. That project definitely hit. I think How to Survive or How to Survive was like crazy to me. So it's like one of the things where it's like, yeah, it was really impactful, especially over time. I think that added another layer. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of the things where it's like Kenny is a young artist that is talking about topics that a lot of younger artists would touch. They're just trying to make fun music, and I think he's a good balance. But surely, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's a good one. Another honorable mention I have is Rock Marciology. I was playing this album a lot. I still play certain tracks. I don't know. I just, felt these other albums impacted me more overall. But that was a really impressive album from Rock, as usual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
one of the best rappers in the game.
It's hard when you're later in the year to have the same impact, an album having the same amount of impact on you as the other ones do, because you don't really know when music is going to impact you. It just kind of happens, as life happens, because it's just the soundtrack of your life, the stuff that you listen to. So didn't happen for me either, so it's just like, unless you're like a super fan of Rock Marciano and like as soon as you heard it, you're like, I understand it now. Next, I got Saheem by Sa Baby. Not the strongest project of his. I felt like a lot of people are new to listening to Sa Baby. So obviously they want to say that the album that they started listening to him was the album that he was at his best. It's not. It's not his best. It's above average, I would say. So it doesn't deserve to be in the top 10. I'm sorry. We know he's good. It wasn't his moment yet. The TikTok fame didn't intersect with peak, So it's like we're still waiting.
I get what he's saying, but it was dope to see more people show love to Saw Baby. He might have had to tone it down a little bit. I don't think this album was as wacky as the other projects, but it was catchy. It had still some funny tracks, and he changed his voice a little bit to the point where you might not recognize the Saw Baby, but it's still Saw Baby. And I think I appreciated the album. Sometimes, you just want to play an album, and it's one of those albums where I feel like, especially with Viking, right? Everyone's loving Viking. Like, you could just play around, and it's not too over the top. But his OG shit is definitely way more impactful, I'll tell you that. He's way more in his bag with that a little bit. But I do see the vision.
No, I fuck with it. It's just...
He's like, I'm a day one fan, dog, so,
He's pulling punches to get the masses listening. I can't stand it, bro.
I get what you're saying. For sure. I get it. Another honorable mention is Cavalier, Different Type of Time. When I visited you out in Seattle, he was the opener for Billy Woods, and he's done a bunch of other stuff. I think Cavalier is a really dope artist, and I think this project was one of my favorite projects by him. It didn't make it just because this was a really competitive year, but it was an impactful project. He talked about a lot of stuff. He is an artist to look out for. I mean, I know he's been in the game for a while, but just like, I feel like he's in stride. Even besides this, he's been doing dope features, and he's dropped other dope projects recently.
Loved seeing him live. It was great. He has quite a presence, stage presence. And it's always easy to tell when an artist has certain command over, the room or the audience, and how well that lines up with the kind of music that they make. So, dope artists, dope features. I should have had them on my honorables.
Hey, it's man, it is what it is. It was a lot of stuff to drop. Like I said, Kyle should have probably been in my list. But it was so much stuff that dropped, and I wasn't trying to think about, certain stuff. So I was kind of like, oh, man, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah. Next, I got We Don't Trust You by Future.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one.
You know what, man? Like that was the domino that started it all. And we can't forget it's an artifact. You could put the sound waves in a museum at this point. I just felt like this had to be mentioned. It is the worst of the two albums, even though neither are bad.
I get what you're saying. I think they both were different vibes. And I did prefer We Still Don't Trust You, and you had that on your list. But We Don't Trust You was solid. And it was a good starter to get ready for the second one. Another one I have is Rhapsody, Please Don't Cry. Asteroids was one of my favorite tracks of this year. It was a dope single. And then, as a whole, that album was really dope. I think Rhapsody is one of the best rappers in the game. She's always going to be consistent with the bars. I think, a lot of times it's just people connecting with her. And that project really connected with me. Like I said, a competitive year, though. So she was unfortunately cut off. But she was fighting for that spot.
All right, my last honorable mention. Maybe in Nirvana by Smino. This album dropped too late. Too late. It would have been there. Just a little bit too late, man. He went so crazy with this one. Second best, probably.
Really?
Behind Love for Rent. This is a really good project.
I really like Black Swan, so I'm surprised. I need to listen more. I ain't gonna lie. I listened to it like once or twice, and then I was kind of like, I'll go back to it because it is later in the year. He did take too long. I feel like it was more of a... So I wouldn't even say summer. It's just like it's a different vibe than I'm on right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's always on a different type of vibe, bro.
Yeah, he comes correct every time. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm not surprised. I remember last time we were kicking it, you were playing it. I'm like, okay, I maybe need to go back a little more, but Smino is a certain type of music, and
Let's get back to these lists, bro.
Yes, sir. All right.
I almost had Lupe on there, bro. It's close.
Yeah, you know me, man. I'm a Lupe, and even then, like I'm saying, Ka might have pushed him out. I didn't put him in my list for whatever reason, but Lupe, Palaces, Samurai, the whole concept. It was a moment. It was fun. And he was still delivering bars. You know, he was giving me what I wanted to hear. I'm impressed sometimes. You know, he's been doing it for so long, and he still finds a way to shake it up. He still finds a way to, you know, surprise me with what he raps about. Even though he can be a kind of nerd, he can be kind of, you know, spitting at you, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's always fun to decipher, you know, see what somebody's talking about. I liked it, you know. It was like the first Lupe album. I was like, yeah, I actually like it, bro. It's crazy.
You're like, damn. You're like, okay, because the beats, it was jazzy. It was fun. Like he was, you know, he was playing around. And I think he's at that point. It's kind of cool to see.
It's fun to see what happens to yourself when you don't take yourself so seriously. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But it's crazy though when you think about it, because it's still serious. It's just for Lupe.
Yeah.
He was playing around. You get what I'm saying? Like, he had a weird ass concept and went with it, and I think it's dope. I was damn near gonna put 454 on there. I ain't gonna lie. You know, he was, especially, you know, he just put it out on streaming. So I've been listening to it.
Listen, bro. The journey of this album, bro. Like, he dropped this as a cassette only, and you had to buy the cassette, and the cassette funded it basically to the next point to get on the SoundCloud. And then the SoundCloud, like, listening to the SoundCloud was like some 2016, you know, people, I miss 2016 type shit. This was like bringing me back, bro. Like, I was on SoundCloud, you know, I was looking at the timestamps, bro. You know, it was that little internet community is still like there on there, bro. And it's like,
yeah,
it's crazy. Like, all the people that I seen, you know, talking about this album, who talk about 454 in general, is just always like the dopest people, you know, like, are listening to 454, you know? So I'm just like, yeah, it makes sense, bro, because these albums are fucking crazy. Like, the samples on here, the Thames flip, the fucking Stop Breathing flip on there,
man.
You know, just the way that they play with tempo and like pitch and all that shit with their stuff. I couldn't not have it on here. I listened to that so much.
We were talking about that project. It was one of the projects where I remember we were talking about reviewing it, and I was like, oh, maybe we'll do a shorter review. But when I spent more time, it was really dope. It grew on me. Even the beats, I think I posted one of the beats there just because, you know, it's just, man, 454 is a really talented artist. I think he's versatile. I know some people might not vibe with the voice, but I don't know. I like the voice. I think it's cool. I think it's unique, and I think it works for him and what he talks about. You know what I'm saying? So keep it coming, man. Florida's on top. Because I had Doechii on here, and she was fighting for my top 5. I was going to put her at 5. Doechii really impressed me. Besides just the music, the way she's been moving, the videos, she also was at Camp Flognaw. And she did great. She was one of the stars of the show. And I see a lot of potential here. And for her to drop a mixtape that impressed me so much, I was really rocking with Alligator by It's Never Heal. Slide is one of my favorite tracks this year. Catfish, crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we can make it about her being a woman. But besides being a woman, you know, she's challenging certain norms. She's talking about things I don't hear a lot of artists talk about. Denial is a river. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy.
I really did like this project a lot, so I can't even say that I shouldn't have had it on my list, but it was tough not to keep it on there. There were so many different things to choose from that I'll feel bad for a lot of my honorable mentions, but this one I definitely feel really bad for. She is the superstar, instant superstar that you think she is. It's been a minute. We've been know about her. When she grabbed that limelight, she just kind of took it over, and just, it's been all gas, no brakes. And that's what you love to see, bro. You love to see it.
And that's why I think I put her at number 6, because it wasn't her year overall, but she was a top artist this year for me, as far as she was constantly keeping her name in people talking. She was constantly, impressing me. I had to put her up there. I think she deserves that 6th spot on my list. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I listened to Hardstone Psycho probably the most out of everything this year, according to my Apple Music. But it's at number 10 for me, bro, because it wasn't as fulfilling as some of the other things on here. Like, the concept of, like, being a biker, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with being a biker, bro.
it was an honorable mention for me. Yeah, just like you, I played certain track. I think it just has that mainstream appeal. And I think Don Toliver is a talented artist where he mixes R&B, he mixes rap. He damn near can go into pop as well. And make some catchy ass songs. Glock,
guitar riffs.
yeah, the
like
guitar
some
riffs.
rock shit.
Yeah, especially on this album, he added a lot more rock sounds, which I love. Glock, I don't, that was one of my favorite tracks this year. Backstreets with Tizo. I played the fuck out of that track, so that could have been on there. Certain albums impacted me a lot this year. That's why I keep bringing it up. That's why I'm mad I didn't put fucking Khan in there, but that's, it is what it is, Think mistakes happen.
Yeah, it's that mainstream appeal that gets him on here because I just feel like it's so good. And
it's good. It's
just
catchy.
like as far as like how it sounds, right? And that's always been the thing with Don Toliver is that he's always had that sound that like is like crazy. But what does Don Toliver talk about that much? Like besides the love stuff, because he does love stuff well. He like Lovesick, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, what does he talk about? And is it interesting? Is the biker stuff interesting? I don't think so.
But it sounds good.
And that's why he's number 10.
Pinball was your number 2, right? Yeah. So you had Mike.
Yeah, number 2 is a number 9.
2.
Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
I've seen Mike live this year.
Yeah, I saw him with 454. Was that earlier this year or last year? I forgot. I get, a lot of time. It was this year. Yeah, he performed with Niante, whatever, 454, El Custo and shit. I don't know if El Custo, but he performed with them. They did Muscle Beach out here, and that was crazy. Being out in Cali. That was a dope ass track. But on Pinball, man, impressive. I mean, Underground, Kings, On God. I mean, I can keep going. Even the one with Jay Critch, that one. I was playing it a lot at first because, it had Jay Critch and it was kind of catchy. And, for Mike, I wouldn't say mainstream sounding, but, it was different for Mike. I think he did a lot of different things on this one. And Tony Seltzer, I need to do more research. I mean, I probably heard some stuff he's done, but he killed it on the production on this. Top tier, damn near every track.
Yeah, I thought that like the incorporation of like the sound effects. Like he played the pinball on the Windows before, right? Cosmic Pinball.
Yes.
See, bro? What I'm talking about? But no, you see what I'm talking about, bro? Like that is only something Unc would say, bro. It'd be like, yeah, Cosmic Pinball back in the day, bro. When I started up them computers in the computer lab.
Oh yeah, or before I start downloading shit on LimeWire, yeah, you load that shit up, have some fun. You feel me? And yeah, and even like I said, tracks like
the sounds.
Yes.
The incorporation of them into the atmosphere, the cover art, all that, very nostalgic. And it just screams that, that this guy is my age. He's literally like my age. It's crazy. The writing was insane. Like you said, he was having fun with it. He was bouncing with the flow on everything, bro.
On everything.
Yeah, Tony Seltzer, thank you.
That was a dope ass project, especially following Burning Desire, which was really high on my list, I think last year. So he's on a roll. I mean, Mike's always cooking. So doing it for me, I was surprised you had that on there, Larry June. You had Larry June at 8. I really like this project too. It missed my list, but it's dope to see you show it love. Bay Area, man.
I'm sipping that jasmine tea.
Yes, sir.
Overlooking the water. Hey.
The nonchalant king.
Hey. It's crazy, bro. This album was, I don't know, I feel like he like got a perfect little encapsulation of the Bay Area on this one.
Mm-hmm.
He just like bleeds it at this point. It's crazy. I just kept finding myself playing this album over and over and over again. It's something smooth. It's something that you can put on around honestly anybody because they're not gonna pick up on like none, and that's like the beauty of it. But it's something smooth that you can be playing, around. You can be playing it around whoever, even if he is saying some crazy shit. He's slick with it.
Perfect explanation right there. He's slick with it. That's totally it right there. He's Bay Area. He's peasy. He's chilling. You know what I'm saying? And I enjoyed it a lot. That was a fun one to review. Again, another one we cut. But that was a fun review when we recorded that, right?
Yep. I love that one. Mm-hmm. For you, bro, you got ScHoolboy Q at number 4. I need you to explain that for me, bro. Number 4, huh?
I mean, I got the ScHoolboy hoodie on. ScHoolboy's an artist I grew up with. He took a break after Crash Talk. Crash Talk was okay. It was good, but it wasn't that impressive. So to see him come back with a really impactful album, him and Mac Miller were friends, and he mentioned certain tracks. I've lost friends to drugs. I've seen people, even in the area I work with, deal with addiction. Basically, to see him talk about being back in love with rap and getting a bunch of West Coast artists and just having fun again, it motivated me. It seemed like he was damn near going to retire, come back, and make, especially with the West Coast booming, this was the year of the West Coast to me. And I think this was an impactful album to start that movement for surely. You know what I'm saying? ScHoolboy Q didn't really miss on this project. And not only did he not miss, he changed it up a little bit, and I love to see it.
I definitely would love to have this on my list. I just felt like on this one, I don't know.
It came out early in the year. So
it came out early in the year, but like I had plenty of time to listen to it. It didn't hit me as hard, I guess, as other ScHoolboy Q has. It's a different time in his life, a different period. He's a different person at this point. He's grown a lot, like you said. I mean, I was very much so into ScHoolboy Q 10 years ago. The height of how much I like ScHoolboy Q, right? Over time, it's great to see him grow. I just feel like it's different music than what I even listen to anymore at this point. I still fuck with some of the songs though. It's just that the energy is like not the same. It's not the same. And I used to like him for like his energy.
ScHoolboy Q, I get what you're saying. He was hype. Even when he started, he was the hype man. But I feel like with this album, he took so long and he had a lot to say. And yeah, of course you could just chill and teeth to it. But I feel like when you listen to it, especially, as I kept listening to it, what he was talking about was some real ass shit. Especially, he's getting older, he's recognizing it. And, I think it's dope to hear an artist that I grew up with continue to grow as I continue to grow. I like what he did on that project a lot.
I'm not saying you can't do something else, right? It's just like, what
you're looking
associate you with. So it's hard to get out of those mental ruts sometimes. I think it's absolutely wild. You got Boldy James at number 1, bro.
Yeah, man, across the tracks, man. Flying Trapeze Act is one of my favorite songs this year. This year has been a crazy year. I made a lot of progress, and I think that, seeing Boldy basically come back from almost dying, pretty much, and to see him come back and basically not miss a step. You had Penalty of Leadership on here. I mean, I might not put that album number 1, but I could have swapped it and put it somewhere on this list, right? And I think, Conductor Williams, man, we see artists like Drake and other people work with him at a high level. So to get a full project and it's just like, you know what you're getting from Boldy, but dope bars, dope production. It was such a smooth project. We talked about Freddie. You only die once, and I think Boldy coming back. Switcheroo.
Yeah. It's crazy, bro.
St. Juliana, man.
Wild work ethic, and it's really just like that essence of hip hop, like the guy who like, it seems like he's like couch surfing on these producers' fucking couches, bro, and then just giving in some fucking bars and then dipping, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's wild. It doesn't seem like hyper, produced or overdone. It always just feels like a genuine 2 dudes just get into the lab and cooked something.
He dropped another one too this year. That was on like Bandcamp and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a year. I'm not in the streets and I'm not doing nothing like that, of course. But hearing him
for
tell
legal purposes, he has to say that.
Yeah, you're funny. But hearing someone tell the stories and hearing, like I said, I work with people who are less privileged, and to hear him say certain things that, sometimes I'm working with people and they tell me similar things. I got people calling me. I'm sending money to them to put money on their books, and, they're telling me some of the trials and tribulations they went through. This album had that on there. You know, like you're saying, like you probably were surprised I had it so high, but really it was just like I played it throughout the year. There was a moment this year where this album left my playlist, or left like at least a track or two left my playlist, or like didn't leave rotation, just because it was so soothing. It was just so comforting to me. It was almost like a safe space album, and that's kind of crazy. I know you might be like, what? Like, man, it's sometimes comforting to hear someone, and he's from Detroit. You know, we're talking about West Coast. I know Detroit isn't necessarily West Coast, but you know, Detroit people and Bay Area people, you know, we have connections. You know, sometimes we sound similar, and I feel like this album was just all of that in one. It was a special package. We're complimentary. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Detroit and the Bay, you know, because we both get it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? So, and you can hear that on this project. It was a raw project, and like I said, Conductor. You know, I don't want to go past Conductor. He's had a killer year this year. I need more people to do projects with him because he knows how to make a fucking project all together.
Yeah, that is like an underrated thing with like the Boldy projects that we get, is that it's always featuring some different type of producer. We get introduced to so many different people because he gives them an opportunity to just, you know, allow him to do his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
On your beats, basically. It's the perfect business model, bro. Like, I feel like this man is crazy. His work ethic can only be matched by like maybe Future.
Yes.
And even then, it's probably not enough. You remember when people were saying that Griselda was dropping too much?
Yes.
Boldy hasn't stopped dropping this entire time.
Yes, and it's been fire.
And it's been insane. It's been an insane run.
Yes. I just want to say, man, I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's recovered. He's come back, and he's, like I said, back again like he never left. It's kind of motivational because, you know, like I said, I've seen people fall off. Even me, I've had my downfalls this year, and I think to see someone persevere through it all, man, it was a moment. So I had to put it number one. It was one of those things where it's like, man, should I put it number one? But it had to be. You know what I'm saying? Because you had Mach-Hommy.
Yeah.
Talking about surprise, man. Mach-Hommy number one. I had it. What?
That's a moment.
I had it 5. You had it 1. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 5-1. You know, it's fair. It's fair range. You know, because I could have put any of these really at 1.
Nah. You saying that? Don't. Hey, man. Mach-Hommy number 1. Man, that Rich Ass Haitian was a moment, especially with the single. I mean, I've heard people playing that song that don't usually listen to Mach-Hommy. Like, he had it all on that album. It was an impressive ass album.
I deserve it. Oh,
real.
He did have it all on that one. I just felt like, you know, the stuff that was going on in his home country, and for him to continually put them on the forefront of the music that he makes, you know, whether he's talking about it in the song or it's just the imagery, the patriotism, and you know, the pride that he carries is really admirable.
Yeah.
And I feel like it inspires me to be more prideful in, you know, just the things that I have, more grateful for the things I have. You know, he's just one of those rappers that makes you want to do better in general, because how, you know, prestigious and how elite the way he does things is. So,
and he stands on business. You know, he's always
on business.
You know, we talked about in the review, he's always repping Haiti. He's a little elusive with the way he moves, and even his projects. You know, you got to go out your way to pay money or buy them or get them elsewhere, right? But man, when you get into his music, he makes something no one else is making. Sanji, Same 24, Rich Ass Haitian, the single. This is off top, but you know, there's a lot of tracks on here that are crazy.
Bon Lon.
Yes, sir. That was a crazy one too. You know what I'm saying? He didn't miss on this album, so that's why I was surprised though, because not to bring this up, but I remember Pray for Haiti. But you know, things take time.
Mach is one of the only people that actually treats hip hop like fine art, high class art, you know? And it is. And right now, I don't know if it will ever be able to like really be distinguished as that, but we're in a renaissance right now, bro. You can make music and you can drop it the way that he does, where you're selling like only a certain amount of records, physical records, for insane prices. Like, no brainer, right?
Yeah.
And he gets laughed at and gets chastised about it and all this stuff throughout, discourse. You just don't fucking get it. So
It's worth it, man.
It's not worth explaining to somebody who doesn't just fucking get it. You just get it.
Because he doesn't even have his lyrics online too, so you got to really listen to his music and get what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it's really worth spending the time, and it's really worth listening to. Yeah, I'm happy you had that number one. I was shocked just because I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? But I love that album. Kendrick Lamar, GNX. You had it 4, I had it 3.
3 and 4.
Yeah, it came out later. I'm not gonna say it would have been number one, but it was a really great album. Squabble Up, Luther, Reincarnated might be my favorite track this year, if not one of them. It's in the top 3. Introspective, like I said, the year of the West Coast. I have been a little lower on my list, but pretty much a lot of my albums were like West Coast albums. This was the bow on top. Putting it all together after a crazy year, basically destroying Drake. Sorry if you're a Drake fan, but murking him on a grand level. As someone who used to hate on Drake, but I wasn't trying to hate on him anymore. But to see this happen, I never thought it would happen. But to see it happen, I was happy.
Kendrick he is the greatest hater. He hates the way that he talks, the way that he walks, the way that he dresses.
Yeah, he didn't even put those songs on there either. It was just new
Didn't
music.
need to, bro. Didn't need to. It was still skating. He strangled him a goat, bro.
Yes. That album is insane. The more I'm listening to it, the more I'm getting from it. Like I said, Kendrick took a little break, of course. He takes a little time to drop albums. He surprise dropped it. And it was like, wow. He dropped the album and everyone's loving it. And it's West Coast. Like, not only did he drop an album, like, he showed love to the West Coast. He got a bunch of features that I wasn't really familiar with. I don't know if you were. But to see him do that, sell that much, I'm excited to see what he does next. It was dope to see, basically, like I said, everything put together. And Kendrick, even though he was making, catchier music, he didn't slack.
He did not slack on this one. No, it was a little bit like a damn moment, but he was goaded into doing this. Like,
yes.
Let's not pretend like he wouldn't have just dropped some regular shit if not for fucking Drake and his fans talking about how he makes like lullaby music. Him making this album was a direct shot back at the claims of him making sleepy music.
Yes.
He wasn't going to do this, but this is just a consequence of Drake's, showboating and fucking all this stuff that he was doing before anything even happened. Like him doing like the Tupac AI voice, like that leads to, this,
Reincarnate, I think that was them, you know what I'm saying? Like getting
I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
getting a Tupac beat. Damn near
he might not even have done something like that, without that happening.
It was a crazy year for Kendrick. He hit everything he needed to hit, and I'm excited to see him perform at the Super Bowl. I hope he drops something else this year. I hope he drops, because he's previewing that song. I know he does that though. He'll drop like a snippet and then never drop it. I hope he drops another project or something else more in the lane that he usually drops in, because I was missing a little bit the concept. You know how Kendrick is. I mean, Mr. Morale was super deep. It was about therapy and growing. Damn had a little bit of a concept to it. So he did stray away from that, but it did have a purpose. It was to bring the West Coast together. That was the concept.
Well, it wasn't as like theatrical or like story oriented, Usually it's like really story heavy. I feel like all of his albums, since Section 80, even you could say Overly Dedicated, there was some like thematics to it as well. But this one was definitely just like about the transitioning and like the slaps, like it wasn't really about the story. Jabs and certain things he says here and there, but yeah, it was just, I don't know, bro. Just talk your shit music, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Yeah, flex on him. Flex. He deserves it.
We still don't trust you, bro. We still don't trust you.
That was fighting for my 10 spot, too. Future, man. You know me, I'm not the biggest Future fan, so Future was fighting for a spot. I was like, damn, Future has really grown on me. I think, I've always thought Future was dope in his own ways, just like me casually listening to him. I didn't do it as much, but with this project, it was dope. It was different, especially this one. It was like funky. I mean, I know he does R&B and stuff before, but I like the sampling he did. I like that. You know,
he had the Weeknd on there.
He had the Weeknd on there. He put it all together as far as like the R&B vibe for me. Because usually what really impressed me is that Future and R&B, sometimes it hits with me, sometimes he didn't. He wasn't really crooning like that on this one as much. It was just like smooth player shit. You feel me? And I really fuck with that.
Even the times when he did croon on it, I didn't.
It worked.
Care, bro. It worked. I mean, yeah, like it's like this is like the best example of like that shit just going insane, bro. That was one of my top tracks of the year, easily. He spun back, bro. He came back for seconds, bro. He said, "I'm not finished with you. Get back over here. You're not done, bro." It was a hell of a moment. The Kendrick and Drake beef, like, was talked about at like a certain point of it, but like before and like the after. This was in the part of the build-up. It was an instrumental part of the build-up that he did this again. He got everybody on here, you know.
It was definitely different vibes. I was surprised I liked this vibe more. But I think, especially when we listened to it, it was like, okay, I see it. I see the vision. You feel me? Vince Staples, at number 8, I really love Dark Times. I think a lot of people forgot about that album, but to me, when I was listening to that shit, like Atafe, Radio, and shit like that, like, again, I don't know, this year was weird. It was like a throwback year, kind of like, you know, Tyler's on my list, Vince Staples, Kendrick, ScHoolboy, like artists I grew up with. And it was cool to see them all come back and drop dope projects, and he was another one of those, man. Vince, he did his thing on Dark Times.
Yeah, that was a great one. It was short, but he's been experimenting with like shorter projects in general. This was just another great one, yeah. Very vulnerable. This is the year of vulnerability for sure. Because people, you know, some crazy stuff, probably. This is a great.
It's crazy. It's dope. It was a dope album. I had to say this. I'm surprised you didn't have Tyler in there. Take your mask off? You didn't? What?
Yeah.
Saint Chroma? We listening differently, I guess. I mean, I remember during the review, you were kind of saying it wasn't one of your favorite albums of his. So what was it? Come on, I gotta ask this. We didn't even have it as honorable mention. What was it?
It just didn't hit, bro. Sometimes his albums are like that for me, you know. I wasn't really into Cherry Bomb when that shit dropped, even though a lot of people I knew really like Cherry Bomb, you know, big Tyler the Creator fans. And sometimes music, you know, can hit you at the time or hit you later or not hit you at all. Like, I mean, I feel like Igor, the concept of Igor,
crazy.
I like the concept, like what, like how he like presents it. Does it connect to me? Not necessarily, you know. In certain ways, like you could say it could, but other ways you could say like, nah, it doesn't.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, because I love Igor, because I like Flower Boy a lot too. I know you love Flower Boy, but when he gets more into his alternative or like, you know, kind of aggressive but different vibe, I like it. So I think this was kind of in that lane, but it wasn't his best project, and that's why I had it at like 7, you know, but it was still impressive to me. You know, I'm a big Tyler fan though, so.
You know, there's only so much flowers to go around, and sometimes, you know, we know how good he is, and it's just like, it can get overlooked, and that's okay. The people know how we feel about Tyler the Creator, so it's like, I'm good.
The only other thing I gotta say is JPEG was a little low on your list, but I get it. This wasn't his best project. You know, I had it number 2 kind of because of that. And also, you know me, I like JPEGMAFIA. I think this album was really impressive, though. I like what he went for, especially during the second part near the end. I think he really impressed me with some of the experimentation still. You know, to this day, he's still changing it up. I get why you would probably have it lower, though, because it wasn't as good as LP. Like, LP was probably his best project. Yeah, it was crazy, so.
Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of Hip Hop Babies. You are the reason I do this. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, do all that so that more people can see this, more people can hear these things. Shout out to all the artists that were on the top 10s this year and all those that didn't make it that we still mentioned anyways, because it's all love. It's just my opinion. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'm going to pass it off to Ray.
Appreciate everyone listening. Last year was a good year, especially for us as well. We grew a lot and we love having conversations with some of y'all about rap. You got any comments, any thoughts? If you have your own list, of course, don't be afraid to comment it below. We could chop it up with you. Shout out to Deadleigh, of course, for, like I said, it's been a great year and I appreciate you working with me, as we keep doing this. To everyone on the list, we appreciate you. Hopefully this year is as good as last year. And hopefully, we get some surprises. Maybe some more local artists might be on our list. We got some collabs planned. We got some things we're going to try to work with other people. So with that being said, peace.